Hello. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to make a quick video real quick to follow up on something I briefly touched on in one of my more recent videos, recent in heavy quotes, and that's the low A extensions. I am pleased to say that they are now available for purchase at Nielsen Woodwinds. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the extensions and specifically how to find the right size, because they come in different sizes for different bassoons. But I know that many of you are very excited to hear information about the subcontra bassoon project, and I just want to say off the bat that it's not done. I'm still working on it. In fact, if you look right over here, you can see a big pile of subcontra bassoon pieces. Now, obviously, I want to make some more videos about those pieces, but I just wanted to put to rest any fears you all may have that the project somehow petered away. It's very much not. Anyway, back to the extension. So, as I talked about a couple months ago, I've been working on a new extension, a new low A extension for bassoon. Now, a typical low A extension might look something like this. This is actually a little fancy because it's a cone instead of just a cylinder. And it works well enough for low A. If I just had to play an isolated low A, it works just fine. But it impacts the rest of the instrument's range quite a bit, and specifically it almost completely ruins low B. So if I try to play something really simple like an A major scale, the low B just barely comes out. So, as I got the 3D printer, I was looking for ways to improve that. And the design I came up with looked something like this. This design, the rapid flare in this part, right past the bell, helps the rest of the instrument's range play more like the extension wasn't there. And it also drastically improves the low B. So after a couple of months of tweaking, working on the plastic design, working on finding a better source for the plastic, I finally made something I was happy with. It is incredibly lightweight, just 20 grams. The largest sizes are 20 grams, I should say. The smaller sizes are slightly less. Which means that when it's in place, it doesn't change the weight of the instrument or the balance of the instrument, which is a problem with some thick-walled designs. It's also incredible. The walls are only 0.4 millimeters thick. It's a single extrusion of plastic, and that means that it intrudes into the bore less, which also, once again, helps the instrument function more similarly to how it functions without the extension in place. Now, of course, there's no way you can add a length of tubing to the end of an instrument and not have it affect something. So this is not a perfect solution. But of all of the low A's that I have made over the years, and there have been quite a lot, this is the one that I'm overall the most happy with. I keep this one in my case because it actually fits in my case, in case I ever just an emergency low A. But if I ever actually need to play a low A, I use one of these. So now let's get into what's probably the most complicated part of actually ordering one of these low A's, and that's finding the right size. Most of us, or most people that might want a low A, aren't going to have accurate bore gauges in order to measure the diameter of the bassoon bell. Now, you could order all 7 sizes and choose the one that works, but that's not a very cost-effective solution. So what I came up with instead is, if you go to the Nielsen Woodwinds website, and I'll put the name or the URL down here, you'll be able to download a Ribo low A sizing guide. The idea here is that we're going to cut out these strips, tape them together, and use those to determine what size extension we're going to need for our bell. Now, the most important thing when you use these is that there are 2 different versions. This one that I have printed off, see, it says US letter. This is sized for US letter paper. And there's also an A4 version if you use A4 paper. This is very important because in order for this to work at all, it has to be printed at full size. So even if you have the appropriate paper size, go ahead and double check when you press print that the scale is set at 100%. It has to be 100%. Okay, so first thing, cut out all of these strips. I'm not going to cut through all of I'm not going to do these all on video because that would be a very boring video, but I'll make one. And pay close attention that when you cut this line here, you make it as close as possible. Alright, so it should look like this. Don't cut the line that says do not cut. Now, I'm going to roll it and so that these arrows touch. And you shouldn't see any of that gray area. And then just a small piece of tape. Tape it together. And there you go. So this is our size 38 sizing ring. And then you would do that for the others as well. You're probably not going to need the larger ones. Now, after you've done that, you're just going to use the sizing rings one at a time, starting with the smallest. So this is the 38. Fits in okay. 38 and a half. Fits in pretty close. And 39. And it fits in almost perfectly. And then just to test, let's try the 39 and a half. And it's not going to fit at all without crunching. So what that means is I'm going to take the largest size that fit in, which in my case is the 39, and that's the size extension I need. So here is my 39 or size 39 extension. If I open this up, here it is. Now, when I first try this, it's not quite going to fit. And that's because I send all of these out with several layers of electrical tape around the end. This helps create a good seal, and it also protects the inside of the bore of the bell from being scraped against slightly harder plastic. Now the idea is that you can remove some of that tape until you get a good fit. Now I happen to know that if I remove one full layer of this tape, it's going to fit in just about perfectly. Okay. Get everything straightened up. And there we go. Perfect fit. And then if I need to remove it, kind of like when you're using a bassoon, or when you're trying to take your bassoon bell off, it's usually better to twist as opposed to just trying to yank. Now, the warning. There are a lot of advantages to the fact that I made this as one single extrusion, very thin walled. And I consider those acoustic benefits more important. But the big drawback is that it is, it's not necessarily fragile, but you can definitely crush it if you handle it roughly. And to demonstrate that, I'm going to use this extension. This is a reject. It had a little bit of a layer skip issue. And you can see that if I, just normal handling, like, oops, I dropped it, it's fine. But if I try, it will break. So, be careful. Don't sit on it. My personal suggestion is to keep it in the box that it comes in. Store it in there. That way it's safe. I mean, this one's not safe because this one's ruined, but it was ruined to begin with. And if you have any questions or concerns about a Ribo Low A extension that you're thinking about buying or that you've already bought, you can send those inquiries to support@subcontrabassoon.com. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to sharing some subcontrabassoon progress with you in the future. Hope you all have a great day.